I think we're good. I
Okay.
see Sheila just came in. Welcome. Why don't we start our meeting then?
Okay, excellent. Well, welcome everyone to our high holiday season kickoff, for lack of a better word, our town hall via Zoom, where we can answer your questions and go over what we're doing. This is a high holiday season unlike any other. And so we are taking all sorts of interesting steps this year. We have said from the beginning of this pandemic, unlike other temples and churches and other organizations who have just been wringing their hands and saying, oh, woe is me, look at everything that we have lost out on. No one at this temple, none of the leaders of this temple have said this. Instead, we have said, okay, we can't do this, let's do that. We can't do something this way, we'll do it another way. We have always looked at this as an opportunity, and we have never stepped back from trying to meet your needs in whatever way we possibly can. And so that has continued for these last 6 months, and is a big part of what we are doing for the high holidays. As we go through the list, you've seen the schedule, you know that we are doing some things in a very non-traditional way. I guess you could say we are very much unorthodox this year. We are doing things in a very different way. And I've had conversations with several of you. Some of you have come up to me on Friday nights or elsewhere and have said, you know, it's untraditional. And I said, it is. But it is also the way that we came up with. We are doing something that no other temple in Western New York is doing, and that's coming up with a way for as many of our members as possible to be together. We're in uncharted waters, and we will continue to be, but we will continue to navigate those waters in a way that is creative and innovative and always putting your best interests first. And so we are doing, as you know, the test drive at the drive-in this coming Saturday to see if there are any technical issues that we did not prepare for, that we need to work out. That's why we are doing it. I hope to see many of you there this Saturday. And I look forward to seeing many, many of you there on Rosh Hashanah morning and Yom Kippur morning. It has just been so nice to see so many faces on Friday nights. And as we have, hey, Harv, it has been so nice as we've moved forward from people staying in their cars to people sitting next to their cars, to people being able to walk around the parking lot and with distance schmooze. We're Jews, we schmooze. And that has been something that has been kept from us, and we're able to do it. And I'm just so grateful to how many of you have supported us and been patient and just continue to be such an important part of the Share Shalom family. And we're going to continue to do that. As we go through this session in this next hour, we're going to lay out all the things we're doing, all the things you need to know. We will take your questions. One note, everyone, because of Zoom being the way it is, everyone is muted except for, in a large setting like this, except for the person who is speaking. And I'm going to tell you something. As we've had our various meetings, the mute button, Rabbi has enjoyed using it on me much too often, I got to tell you. So we will be using it today. If you have a question at any time, there's the chat button at the bottom. You can type it in chat. If you have any questions about that, if you have any concerns, and you have your cell phone handy, text Joanne. She will help you. We just want to make sure that the person who is talking is understood and heard clearly. This can be a confusing platform, and we want to make sure that all the information we are sharing with you is shared properly and everyone can hear it and understand it. And on that note, I'm going to turn it over to the rabbi, and I'm going to stop talking.
Thank you, Bruce, and thank you for all that you're doing. We have an incredible board of directors and members that are just so active. We're really family. That's the word that Bruce used, and it's something that is so important during this time. This is when we need each other the most, during a pandemic and times when most of our other communication is cut off, we want to make sure that you have a connection directly to your synagogue community, and that you can count on us to be one of your central support system. And I hope that we're able to do that, and you are really a big part of it. Before we get started with anything, I want to do something which I've learned in Zoom, which is to really take a look at one another. So take a moment, if you have a computer screen, to just look around at all the different participants. So far, we have already 43 listed, which means well over 50 people. If you have a camera on, you can really take a look. Take a moment, just smile at the people as if you're looking at them directly. We all have different screens, and we'll greet each other and really appreciate just being in each other's presence. So today is a really cool day that we actually chose this day because it was the one day in August that both Cantor and I were together and could do this presentation. I'd been on vacation the last 2 weeks, and Cantor is going to be heading out next week. And so this was really the perfect moment to really take some time to share with you everything that we've been planning about High Holy Days. But when we were planning, we actually didn't realize that today is the perfect day to do it, because it is what's called Rosh Chodesh Elul. Rosh Chodesh, the new month. Technically, this is the very last day of Av, and tomorrow is the first day of Elul. Sometimes Rosh Chodesh is split between the months, like it is this month. But I think it's appropriate to say the blessing of the new month, and I'm going to recite it right now, and I'm going to have Cantor say the Shekianu to really bring holiness to this moment as we begin our journey towards the High Holy Days. So this is from the Mishkan Tefillah prayer book. Our God and God of our fathers and mothers, on this day, the last day of Av, the beginning of the month of Elul, may we be mindful of us and all your people, Israel, for good, for love, for compassion, life, and peace. Remember us for well-being, Amen. Visit us with blessing. Help us to a fuller life. I'm going to turn it over to Cantor to offer a Shekianu for Rosh Chodesh.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kivanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Amen. I have a little new dog, Nava, here. Bless you, God, who brings us to this moment, provides us life, and allows us to be here today. So we are really, really grateful to be together. In this time of the pandemic, our options have been limited, and we've learned a new way, including Zoom calls. Most of you probably never heard of the company Zoom prior, and now are experts in it. You have gone on quite a journey, and we're really, really grateful. We're grateful for everything that's happened at Shir Shalom, all the people that have really pitched in to reach out, to make sure that our members are connected and that people aren't being left out. The technology that we have is not perfect. That's something we're going to be talking about throughout our time together. There's plenty of glitches. Cantor and I, and Joanne especially, we know all about these glitches. Every format has its kind of challenges, but what we're trying to do is do the best job possible. And what we've done, as you'll see, is broken down High Holy Days into all the different components of it, and really thought with the Lit committee, with our executive committee and board, what are the best ways to demonstrate safely each of those. Safety is key. We have not, for the last 6 months, have in-person services with more than 10 people. And at this point, we are not planning to do that. except for outdoors or in places where we feel safe. We do not want to be a spreader of this virus, and we're trying very hard to make sure that we are not spreading the virus, but also keeping to what our mission is. We also know this is really hard. This is hard for you. This is hard for me. Believe me, I've been on many Zoom calls, and I'm definitely burnt out of them. There's a certain sadness. We're not going to be having High Holy Days this year like we always do. And that's nothing, we cannot avoid that. No synagogue in the world is having High Holy Days the way that they normally do. That is just the facts that we have been given. We are trying to make the best of bad choices. I will say that this environment, as Bruce said, really is not something we feel daunted by. We feel a lot of creativity and ingenuity and love and support. And that this is what we do with community. We try to make the best with whatever we have. So on this Zoom call, we're going to go through the service piece by piece. I know a lot of you probably received your high notes in the mail, and we're excited to see that we have High Holy Days at all, maybe, but maybe you have a lot of confusion. Cantor's holding up her copy. That is kind of the beginning of the conversation. We know this is not like every other year where you just have done this before. This is new to all of this, and we want to make sure that you have an opportunity to ask the questions, to learn, and to really feel like you have ownership over the process. So that when we do reach Rosh Hashanah in 1 month, you will feel much more comfortable and maybe be able to explain it to others. You are part of that process of helping us because we're trying to understand it ourselves as we go along. This is really new for all of us. And if you see something, a hole in what we're doing, please let us know because we have not thought of everything, trust me. And there are things that are going to be gaps. And it's really important that we step in and help each other out and not assume that we understand, because there are parts of this we don't understand any more than you do. So what we're going to be doing, and we're going to be hearing from a variety of different people. We're going to be hearing from Mindy Weinman. She and Marina. Sherry Joe really are central to our Lit committee, so they're going to be talking about honors. We're going to be hearing from Cantor Frank, who has worked tirelessly, and I mean tirelessly, to make sure that there is a musical component, and so she's going to share about that. And Joanne, oh my God, Joanne, I don't know if she's rested. She took it the day off the other day, but I really don't think she's rested this entire time. She has had to learn every single system and has been our technical person along the way as we've moved from a physical space to this virtual world. So we're going to hear from all of them and we're going to go through all the different components. There will be space at the end, hopefully about 20 minutes to ask questions. Whenever you have a question, if you see that chat option, I've already mentioned it before, just write into it. If you want to send me a text, I can get those as well, or Joanne. If that's more comfortable with chat, you can chat privately as well, so you don't have to write to the whole group. Okay, so our High Holy Day experience, we've divided it up into 3 different ways of experiencing it. Each of them has its own challenges and rewards. So the first way is where we are right now, Zoom. Zoom is an incredible experience. It's from my home. I'm in my daughter's room right now. My dog came in. It's sort of like a messy experience, but it's very intimate, and there's some really nice components. And we will be making use of Zoom during the High Holy Days. For some of you, maybe that's not where you are, and that's okay. You always can turn off your camera. You don't have to participate always in the same way, and that's perfectly okay. We are also continuing to stream. We've been streaming for over 5 years, believe it or not, since about 2015. And so we are very used to it. Most of you have done that at one time. I even tried it out at one point on my TV, and it was a wonderful experience. You can get it on YouTube, on Facebook. We use a company called Boxcast, which is excellent. It gets archived as well. It sometimes has glitches. It doesn't always work, and we have to figure it out. But it is a wonderful option, and we especially wanted to stream so that you can feel like you're in the sanctuary. We know there is something lost when you don't get to be in the room that you're used to and that you love. And so that's very important. But we also have put in quite a bit of in-person gatherings. These are not indoor gatherings. These are in-person, in parking lot gatherings. We have, since July, been meeting on Friday nights in our Shir Shalom parking lot for our Park and Praise. We will be doing simile gatherings, and we are super excited. Thanks to Sherry Joe Reich's connection to Rick Cohen, kind of an adopted family member who runs Transit Drive-In, and his generosity. He has offered us for free the space of the drive-in. Now, we will not be showing movies. This is a space that you will go and be able to hear us on the radio. You'll be able to bring your own chairs if the weather is nice and sit out and be present together. We especially like the drive-in because all of us can be there. There's no problem with spacing. It can fit hundreds of cars, and it will really allow for us to do that. So those are the three primary ways that we are going to be having services. Now what I'm going to do is actually share the order of what we're doing and just go over it individually, one step by step. So Joanne, is it okay? Am I able to share now? Let's find out. Okay, I want to share desktop. I think that's what it is. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, okay. Tell me if you can see this. All right, I think you can see this now.
Everyone should be able to see it.
I'm assuming you can. All right, so just looking at what we have, we're going to just start from the beginning, and it's coming up in a hurry. So first of all, Cantor is going to go and explain more. The very first thing on our schedule is that we are going to be having some virtual productions, and I'll let Cantor explain what those are. So the very first part of High Holy Days is Slichot. For those of you unfamiliar, that is the late night service that occurs the Saturday before Rosh Hashanah. We will be holding Slichot. It will be live stream from our sanctuary. Cantor will be sharing many of the melodies you're familiar with on the High Holy Days. I'll be speaking, and it will be a Slichot service. Then Friday of Rosh Hashanah, Friday night is Rosh Hashanah. That's September 18th. We're going to be doing shofar blowing around town. We're doing this because the shofar, as wonderful it is actually quite dangerous under COVID because it spews out the air very far. And so we want to make sure that everyone is safe in this. So what we're going to do, Stephen Glickman and I are going to be going to various different places, Weinberg and Amberley, as well as the CSS parking lot, so that you can get a little taste of it. We're also going to be looking for a location downtown. If you have a place that you have in mind, let us know, and we can certainly incorporate that. Next, we're going to have a virtual candle lighting. Many of you saw this during Friday nights before we moved to drive-in mode. These are wonderful small gatherings where you can light your own candles, and we will have an honor of someone lighting. Then we're going to have our service at 7:30, the Erev Rosh Hashanah. That will be streamed just like you saw our Friday night services in the past from the sanctuary. On Saturday, what we decided to do, because we do want a chance for people to see one another, we are having a welcome to Rosh Hashanah. That'll be a chance just to see each other, to wish each other Shana Tova. Part of coming to the synagogue is a gathering, and we wanted to really have that space. We also will be releasing a Torah service. It will be via Zoom, but it will be released in various components on email and on Facebook. It's pre-recorded just for timing purposes because we have actual honors of Torah readers, and we're going to be having them do that a couple weeks beforehand and then sending it out as if it were alive. But that will allow Cantor and myself and others to get over to Transit Drive-In and to set up and to make sure that we're ready. We are, by the way, as Bruce said, having a test of this. So if you're curious, you want to see what this is like, come out on Saturday at 11. Just let Joanne know. So that will be our Park and Pray, our main service. As Joanne will explain, you will need High Holy Day tickets for that. And we are keeping our services shorter this year. So Cantor and I really worked hard to get the central components. We know it's hard to be sitting in a car for extended periods of time, but we will get all the key moments and we'll be together. It will be streamed as well, God willing. And so you'll be able to see it in your homes if you don't feel comfortable coming out. And we will maintain proper spacing so that everyone is able to be safe. We also are having a family service like we always do that is open to the whole community at the drive-in, at the Transit Drive-In. Andy Simons, Dr. Andy Simons, who's helped us out in the past, will be there to help to present and to play the guitar. We will be on the rooftop where the snack shop is there, just like we will be in the morning. Then we'll be heading out to Tashlik. We decided this year, because we're not in the building and we might need a bigger space. The JCC, the Benderson building, has a wonderful area right behind where the creek is. And so we'll be walking over there. We'll have plenty of room to be able to do it and plenty of place to park as well. So I hope you'll join us for that. Sunday is our second day of Rosh Hashanah. That will be a Zoom service. Similar to what we've been doing on our Shabbat morning services. Those of you that are participants in that understand it will be a little bit more casual. Cantor and I will be participating. Hopefully others in the group will be as well, and everyone's invited. But it's also really important to note that is our makeup day. If it is pouring rain on the Saturday of Rosh Hashanah, we will not be able to be at the drive-in. So we want to, since we have 2 days and they're both on the weekends, we want to make sure that you do have an opportunity to go to the drive-in. And so that will be our backup if it rains out. Then going the next week, we'll release another video that Cantor will talk about. We will have Kever Avot. That'll be the same as it always is at Whitechapel on the Sunday. That means gathering at Whitechapel to say memorial prayers. We will be doing that. And just like we did on Rosh Hashanah, on Erev Yom Kippur, Sunday, September 27th, we will be having a virtual candle lighting and Kol Nidre there. Kol Nidre will also be, as Cantor will be explained, released in a different format as well. On Monday, we have a very, very full day, which imitates what we did on Rosh Hashanah. So once you're familiar with Rosh Hashanah, you should be also familiar. We'll again have a 9 o'clock welcome, again release that Torah service that will have been pre-recorded, and then have a gathering, a shorter gathering again at Park and Pray for an hour there. We will be having reflections. I'm so glad this year we have wonderful presenters. We have one of them is Dr. Gail Burstein, and I know Glenn Goldman and a few other presenters as well. We're really super happy. That's a very important program that will be on Zoom. Again, we will have a family service at 2:30, and we will have a healing service. Linda Bergman and Adrian Crandall will be leading that like they have the last few years on Zoom, and they're well prepared, and it's going to be an amazing service. Then we're going to be going quickly into a Mincha Torah Zoom live. We hope that you will join us for that. And then at the end, we have Yisker Neila on the stream. But we wanted to make sure we were all together. It was really important for the end. It's super cool at the end of Yom Kippur to be together, to have a break fast, to hear the shofar. So we are having that. We're going to have bagel boxes that Joanne will talk about, and a final shofar blowing in the parking lot. So that 7:15 is the time, hopefully, that will give you enough chance to get there and to have that experience. So that's the basics. You'll have a chance to ask questions. I'm going to stop the share now, and I'm going to turn it over to Mindy to go over the honors.
Mindy, unmute yourself.
I did. I'm unmuted, Bruce. Thanks. Hello, everybody. I don't know if my face is there. My face is looking at me, but I'm looking at Bruce. Anyway, it's good to see everybody. So I'm talking on behalf of the Ritual and Liturgy Committee, which normally at this time of year, we are crazy busy making phone calls, looking for people to come and do honors, to do readings, to do all sorts of things during our usual High Holy Days. It's not usual this year. I think we all know that. Excuse me. So we are going to have a very interesting experience this year, as Rabbi said, and I'm really excited about it. We are going to be having some honors. Because there were so few, rather than spread it out over our entire committee, for any committee members that are out there wondering where we've been, I've just called a few people to ask them to join in the Torah Service and do those honors. But we are also going to be in need of people to be greeters like we usually have. Greeters at the transit drive-in, taking tickets, doing various things. And the other people that we decided we would need this year are people who are tech savvy, people who can help other people, even people like me who, although I do think I understand Zoom, I'm pretty disabled when it comes to trying to figure out all these things. So if you're one of those people who feel like you have a good handle on the technology that we're using, if you would contact Joanne and she can get your name out there, and then anybody in the congregation who feels like, okay, this is really overwhelming me, I don't know what you're talking about, how am I going to get on the radio at the drive-in, how am I going to, other than getting all the signups for Zooms, what do I need to do for that? If you're one of those congregants who needs some help, we're hoping to get people out there to answer those questions. And I'm guessing that some of you who are watching right now already have some of those questions. So you can ask them, but hang on, hopefully we'll get some people around to help you. I'm actually really excited to see all the pieces that we're putting together here for for the holidays. And I don't know, Marina, Sherry Jo, do you have any other things to point out? Anybody there?
Well,
okay.
Thank you, Mindy. I'm going to turn it over. Appreciate all your work. It's been amazing. I'm going to turn it over to Cantor to talk about the musical side.
Hello, everyone. It's so great to see everybody's faces. 3 pages we're filling right now. 3 pages. So glad to see you. Rabbi went through the whole list of things, and I thank him very much for explaining it so clearly. It seems like it's all over the place, but it's intentionally for that way, for everyone to be able to come in the ways that they are comfortable. Some people are comfortable with Zoom. Some people are comfortable with the Boxcast. There's opportunities for us to meet in person in parking lots. So we are covered in case there are glitches and systems are down on some of these social media platforms. We are covering some of these things on 3 social media platforms. I'm sorry, Mindy, could you mute? Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know if I got cut off. Thank you. So, yeah, that's one of the glitches with Zoom, right? So, first of all, I want to say that many of the primary pieces that you know for the High Holy Days will be part of the services. The services are short, but the gems are kept. And we can't do everything, but we're trying to put in as much as we can and then keep it to a reasonable amount of time that works for these social media platforms. So it required some editing, but the music will be there. Since we can't sing together in groups, it's just too dangerous. There has been choirs all over the country that have met with one person was asymptomatic or symptomatic, and then 19 people are ill or 38 people are ill for these huge choirs. The general recommendation is that people do not sing together. In response to that, we have created two separate, really lovely productions of High Holy Day pieces. One of them features our volunteer choir, Shiruna, with some members of our High Holy Day professional choir. And the second one is a full rendition of the Kol Nidre with our High Holy Day choir and a cellist. So these will be released, and you will see them on all your social media platforms and also in your mailboxes, so you can enjoy them over and over again and then share them if you like. So we have that opportunity. We've been working on this since May to try to produce these pieces. I don't even have them yet. The producer just reached out to me today, said she was caught up in other projects, and that I might see them tonight or tomorrow. I don't know, but they should be quite stunning, and I'm really looking forward to sharing all of these with you, and for you to be able to see some of your familiar faces from our High Holy Days singing and glorifying our services. Paul Staley, whether he be on organ or piano or electric organ, is in almost all of our High Holy Day services, including at the drive-in. And as you know, at the drive-in services, I, the rabbi, Bruce, and Paul, we will be up on the roof of the snack bar. And you will be able to see us from anywhere because we will be up on this roof. And Paul will be up there with his new electric piano. So that will be very familiar to you. So I will say that Kol Nidre, the actual chanting of the Kol Nidre with the cellist and the organ, will be presented to you this year twice. Once through our virtual sanctuaries production with the choir singing, and one in our sanctuary during our box casted service with a different cellist and just me and Paul. So I think we're covering it all, and that has been our goal. So don't be afraid or hesitant to reach out to me and ask me any questions or anything. And I look forward to sharing these very, very unusual High Holy Days with you.
Thank you, Cantor. And I'm going to turn it over to Joanne, who really has the technical aspects of this. So thank you, Joanne.
It's so wonderful to see all of you. I really enjoy seeing you at our Park and Pray services on Friday nights, and looking forward to sharing all of the High Holy Days with you. I just want to mention that the schedule that Rabbi went over at the beginning of the meeting will be on the cover of our September newsletter, so you'll have a copy handy for all your needs. I wanted to go over a few things that we usually talk about this time of year, and one would be High Holy Day tickets. So we will be mailing tickets to members in good standing, which means that you're current with your financial obligations with the temple, and you should receive them by September 10th. If you don't, or if you have any financial concerns, feel free to contact me privately. We also will be handing out High Holy Day prayer books. If you remember, our High Holy Day prayer books are a 2-volume set. There's gold for Rosh Hashanah and silver for Yom Kippur. And at our Erev Shabbat services, starting on Friday, August 28th, we'll have them available for you to sign out and keep until after High Holy Days. And we'll be doing that for 2 Fridays, and then we'll also be announcing a couple of weekdays. If Fridays don't work for you, we'll make some other arrangements. So you'll have your own copy to use at home or to bring with you at the Park and Pray services. And we're also talking about, but it's not finalized, we always do a High Holy Day food drive, and we know, especially now, there's a great need for food. So it's possible we may say, if you're interested in donating food, bring it to an Erev Shabbat service. When you're picking up your High Holy Day prayer books, you can drop off some food while you're at temple. So I think Rabbi Ann Cantor really covered the different types of platforms we'll be using for services. Everyone on Zoom now will be doing Zoom, as you saw, for a number of events. We'll be doing our live stream that many of you are used to seeing on Friday nights. That'll be for a number of events. And then we also very much look forward to being in person at the drive-in or in our parking lot for Shofar Blowing. So for our Zoom, it'll be the same as it was for today. You'll need to go to our website or to an email and click the link and register for the event. And then once I receive your registration, I'll approve it and you'll be sent the meeting link. But all of those Zoom events will be with registration. And if you're looking for links to watch a live stream event, you can always go to our website, and there's a spot right on the front of the website that says click here for watch our services live now, and that'll be the same for the High Holy Days as well. And for the drive-in services, just as we've been doing every Friday, requesting RSVP, just so we can get an idea of how many cars there will be, how many people will be attending in terms of our plan and layout. It's also for security reasons. So we will be requiring RSVP for our Park and Pray High Holy Day services at the drive-in as well. And when we're at the drive-in, you will definitely need to bring your High Holy Day ticket with you for entry. And those will be checked as you come through the gates at the drive-in. And we're trying to be very creative. We know that many people join us for break fast, and it's a nice way to end the holidays together. And since we're not able to gather like that this year, we're going to be providing a bagel box. The bagels will be from Bagel J's, and it will come complete with cream cheese and silverware and a napkin and a beverage. It's a little treat from us, and it's sponsored by Rabbi Alex's discretionary fund. So we will be passing those out after the final shofar blowing on Yom Kippur Day, and it'll be drive-through only. If you've been to any of our Shavetas, you know how it works, and you just drive through and we'll hand you, based on your RSVP, again, a bagel box for you or you and a family member. And you do need to RSVP so that we can order enough bagels, and that'll be announced in the September newsletter. And I look forward to sharing bagels with you. So we're all hoping that Rabbi is going to say some weather prayers for the holiday so that we can be outside at the drive-in. But just on the chance that the weather is questionable or we have to make a decision, which is not our first choice, we will send communication by a broadcast email. We'll also send it with a One Call Now telephone message, and we'll also post it on Facebook in case there's any question. If where you are it's raining and you're wondering if we're going to have services outside that day, you will definitely get a message and you'll know which way to go. And if you would like to sit at the drive-in outside of your car, you're welcome to do that. You can bring your own chairs, but you do have to stay right next to your car. First of all, for social distancing, and second of all, to be able to hear your radio, because you will be turning your radio in your car to a specific radio station, and that's how you'll be able to hear the service. We will not be using the screens at the drive-in because it'll be daytime and you wouldn't be able to see a picture on there. So we'll be looking at our clergy up top on the rooftop of the snack bar. You'll be able to hear them beautifully and see them beautifully. And I very much am looking forward to sharing all of these days with you. And if you have any questions, if you think of something after today, or feel free to call me, email, or ask Rabbi or Cantor or Bruce as well.
So
Thank you.
we're gonna have a chance.
Did I miss, did you say something about the prayer books?
I did.
Okay, all right, I missed it. Thank you.
Yeah.
We are going to be having a chance for questions now. Before we get to them, I forgot one component, and this is something Cantor has been doing a lot of research into, that it's really important to approach like a virtual setting, just like we're in the holy setting. Because, you know, I know we're here all casually, and that's okay. I'm really glad for that and grateful for myself as well. But it's important that you're in the mood. So really think about and maybe even start planning, where do you want to do this? You know, how do you want to dress? Not to impress others, but to get yourself in the spirit. And, you know, what's going to make it, because it's not the same. You know, I do feel to a certain extent I'm with you right now, but I know there's limitations. And you want to feel like you're in the High Holy Day spirit. So I would encourage you to do little things, play music for yourself beforehand, you know, sing something, light a candle, anything that's going to make it feel a little bit holier. It's really important that we do this, even in the drive-in, because I know some of you, maybe you were super excited when you heard the word a drive-in. Maybe you said, High Holy Days at a drive-in? How could that happen? But, you know, if you feel that way, see if you can make your car a little bit more like a sanctuary. You know, think about ways, because it's not perfect. It's just the best that we can do right now. And I think that's important. And forgive yourself also. You know, this is not a perfect, I know you've been really, really understanding of us throughout this process. We really appreciate that. We've had plenty of glitches. It's a lot of stuff's not in our control. And we really appreciate everyone's understanding, and, you know, be understanding of yourself as well. Okay, so if you have questions, I will call on you, or you can write in the chat. And you can let us know. I will look for your hand up, or if no one else is speaking, just go ahead and ask your question. So I'm going to stop speaking now to see if anyone wants to ask.
Rabbi Bob Cantor has his hand raised.
Okay, go for it, Bob.
Obviously, since we're at a distance, I wasn't quite sure that the services are going to be broadcast via Zoom and streaming over the internet while you're up on the roof.
Well, this is when we're at the roof, that is not Zoom. That is a streaming. So this is very confusing. I certainly understand this. Zoom is the format that we're in right now. That can be put on Facebook and YouTube. And so sometimes we may be doing that. But when we are doing a live service, like on the roof, we use our Boxcast. Cantor researched, and using the communications committee as well, they researched into the way that you could do it on your phone. So we have our phones there, and it's as if we're streaming from the sanctuary in the same way. It is not Zoom. It will go on to Facebook, to YouTube. This is if everything works perfectly. And it will also be available on our website. And so all three of those are possible for Zoom, but that's the streaming, sorry.
So I still don't quite get it. How do I know when to use Zoom and when to use streaming? Or would it just be better to stream the whole thing?
Well, the easy thing is you can only get onto Zoom if you have the information. So if we don't have information, it's probably not on Zoom. Zoom is going to be mostly smaller programs we're doing because it works great for smaller programs like candle lighting, like our Mincha Torah service, like reflections, like our healing service. Most of the larger services are going to be streamed. And so what you want to do is you want to look, the Zoom might be available on Facebook. It depends. We're still thinking about that. I hope that answers.
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
I know that we did get a question, okay? So if you're not a temple member, that's okay. You can get a ticket. And believe me, this is your way of supporting your synagogue. We know, this is very different. We have been overwhelmed by your support financially, particularly for the synagogue. It has made a huge difference. We have a lot of operating costs, including, of course, salaries, etc. And so thank you. If you are planning to come to the Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur and you're not a member, please, you can purchase a ticket like in other years. Joanne, just be in contact with Joanne and she can tell you the finances of that. So again, raise your hand if anyone sees. Oh,
Mindy has her hand raised.
Hold on, I see Mindy asked, Mindy, Zoom invitations will go out to members. Some events might be open like Rosh Hashanah second day, so we'll make those more widely available.
No, Rabbi, to address Bob Canner's question about what will he know what's on Zoom? Will the congregation be getting a Zoom invitation separately for all the pieces of the service that are on Zoom? That's what I wanted you to clarify.
Yes, we will send those out and resend them. There might be things like today where most of the things you're going to have to register. That is a safety concern. We do, and we have in our own community had Zoom bombings. That means someone who hates Jews comes on and does really nasty stuff. We do not want that to happen. And so that's why we have the registration. It is a little bit awkward, but it often means that you're going to need to register a couple of days before. If there are challenges, reach out to one of us directly. Joanne is usually the one that can solve those questions, and she's usually the answer. I know that I think Susan asked if you want to volunteer, contact Joanne. that's who you would. Okay, so we had another question, I think. Who was it, Joanne? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Oh, it was Mindy.
Oh, Mindy already.
But I think she's outside. But Julia has asked if she could make an announcement to the group.
Sure, and I also see that Rich Caton also would like to. Since it's an announcement, why don't we hold off on announcements for a second? Why don't we, Rich, if you have a question, please go ahead and ask. You're on mute, Rich. We have to unmute you. So that's the mute. There's a microphone about. Okay.
Yeah. Mike, you mentioned about at the drive-in using car radios or what is because does that mean we're going to have to run our engine or should we bring our own computer for streaming I'm just asking a technical question about how we're actually going to hear the service at the drive-in.
I see Maureen smiling and many others. This is a very common question. I believe it or not, as Mindy reminded me, before this happened, I was calling the drive-in the drive-through. because I have never been to a drive-in outside of this experience. There are radio stations that each of the screens, we're not using the screens, so we will have radio, we will let you know which radio stations to tune to. You should either have a transistor radio or your cell phone radio, or turn your car on, just, you don't have to have the engine running, just the radio running. I've never gone to the drive-in. I imagine lots of people do, and so it's not that hard, but you are not the only one that has that question. I think
Problem is the new cars don't do that like the old cars used to do when we went to the drive-in.
right. Well,
That's why we have that question.
oh,
The
Maureen,
keyless entry cars don't do that.
yeah, Maureen, I don't know because I haven't done it, so I don't know, but I think that by Saturday, we're going this Saturday, and Maureen, I would encourage you to come.
I am, for that reason.
If
Come
you
and
turn
try
off
it
your
out.
engine-
We don't know.
If you
Because
turn
the
off
old
your
cars
engine,
had that.
Maureen,
That's when we used to go to the drive-in. The old cars did that. Oh,
If-
they do, Larry? You'll have to show me then.
if you turn off your engine, your radio will still work until you
Mine
actually
doesn't.
open the door. When you open the door, everything powers down. But if you
No,
just
when
turn
I
off the
turn my
radio,
engine off, it
if you turn off
stops.
your engine, just hit the power button on your car, turn off your engine, your radio will still keep working. What you may want to do is, and this is a good point, is we're going to be there for an hour. The rabbi said we're going to keep it brief. I'm keeping my speech brief. He asked me to do that, and I said I would, even though it's usually the most popular part of the service. I will keep my speech brief. I'm that kind of a guy. But if you every 15 minutes or so, start your car. So you don't
Okay,
worry about
I'll
trains.
try that Saturday. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks. That was my question too.
cool.
Okay, we're nearing the end of our time. I want to make sure Julia can give her announcement. Let me just see if there's any other questions. Okay, I see Cantor wants to. So Cantor, go for it.
They get like hundreds of cars in the evening at these drive-in theaters, so they're probably used to fielding all of these types of questions. So and it seems to work. But also, a lot of us have really good sound systems in our car, so it's a really neat time to kind of like really hear these things in action.
Okay, so Julia, why don't I turn it over to you? And this is only the first step. We're going to have a lot of informational times on Friday night services. We will be sharing a little bit. And, if you have questions, keep them coming. We don't have all the answers, but your questions help us define it, because we really, this is all new to us. We're super excited about what we put together. We're very proud of it. But it's not perfect, and we know that, and that's okay. And we're going to just keep working on it till we get to the High Holy Days. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Julia to offer an announcement.
Okay, thank you. This is not related to High Holy Days, but it's sort of breaking news. And the breaking news is that we have been trying to do a rummage sale. We had something all set up at Amy O'Donnell's house, but we weren't sure we could still hold it because Amy has gone out of the state. But she's back in, and she was tested, and she tested negative for COVID. So the rummage sale replacement is still on, and it will be Friday and Saturday, September 5th and 6th at Amy's home, which is 12 Viscount off Young's. I think you go to Dauphin from Young's and then Viscount. But watch for
Julia.
Oh yeah, Amy, go right ahead.
Correction, it's Saturday and Sunday, not Friday and Saturday.
What did I say? I said Friday and Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you. It's Saturday and Sunday, the 5th and 6th of September. And you will get information in an email about how you can drop items off. And we hope you'll support this like you support all of our rummage sales. We were trying so hard to do a rummage sale at the temple, but that's not feasible. And Amy was very gracious to offer her home. And then we had a little setback, not knowing if we could actually do it, but we can. So thank you to Amy, and thank you all for listening. And we appreciate all your donations, and come and buy things at the sale. Thank you.
So, thank you, Julia. I should also remind everyone, Deborah and Julia are doing a voter campaign. They have a ton of people doing postcards. If you're interested, that really is a wonderful way to give back. So thank you for all you're doing. So we're going to bring this to a close. I'm going to read just a part of Psalm 127, which is the Psalm for the High Holy Days. And that's a way of bringing us into the spirit. I'm so grateful to be together. I'm so proud of Share Shalom community. And I know that we're going to do High Holy Days the best way we can, and that it's going to be meaningful. So I wish you and all of us a safe journey. So this is from the Psalms, Achat Sha'alti. One thing I ask from the Lord, one thing I desire, that I might dwell in your house all the days of my life, to behold the graciousness of the Lord and to enter God's sanctuary. Take care. Shabbat Shalom. Hope to see everyone soon. Really glad to see you.